Start. Hi, peace everybody. So I'm back. This is the second part with the creator Michael Jackson Universal Communication. Please watch the first part if you not have seen the first part, because that's the introduction, that's where you understand everything. But in short message, the creator Michael Jackson, so the ghost, spirit if you want like that, he can communicate to me by using wind. And for that we have the wind tool over here. And Michael Jackson, the creator, is canalizing wind into these areas. When he wants to agree to stuff I speak out, he can raise the wind level. He can trigger the areas that more and more wind is coming to the wind tool. And then the wind tool do react to the wind. Okay? And Michael Jackson can agree to that by using more wind. And he's presenting the golden star into this camera. Please watch part 1 to understand everything. The wind tool have on one side a golden star to say yes. On the other side there's no star to say no for specific questions. But Michael, can you trigger the wind level one more time for the people to agree to the stuff I spoke out so that they understand all the details? And he wants to agree, and he's pushing the wind level now, and with the wind tool he is nearly touching my hand. Okay? So that's the second part, not the first part of the video. So watch the first part to understand it, to get trained, to get used to that communication method. Creators, ghosts can communicate by using wind. And Michael is agreeing to that by pushing the wind tool with wind. The self-identification of Michael Jackson is also in part 1. And he's agreeing now to the fact that he is the creator Michael Jackson, the creator who have lived as the man and as the musician a lot of people do know. Michael, can you agree to that by canalizing more wind to the wind tool so that you push the wind tool and that the wind tool is getting uplifted? And he's doing that now. If you watch closely the wind tool, he's pushing it up into this direction. Okay? Do that one more time. That would be great for the people to see that, to understand that. I put my hand over here. Can you go with the wind tool into the direction of my hand by canalizing the wind to the wind tool? And for the people, watch out, he's doing that. Hopefully you can see that on the camera over here, where my finger is pointing at. So watch the wind tool very closely, and please listen to what I say, because then you understand my communication with Michael Jackson and you can understand the creator Michael Jackson. So we produced this video for his family members. That's important, and Michael Jackson wants to agree to that by sending more wind. Okay, so he did send more wind. He wants to repeat that. So this video is for the family members as well. And now he's pushing the wind tool, and he's uplifting the wind tool in the direction to my hand. Okay? That's what you could see. Okay, I talked with Michael about the fact that he communicated to me that he feels good in the break. We had a little break between part 1 and part 2 of the video. Just a few minutes. And I communicated with him, and in the first part he communicated to me that he feels good, that he has a good time. And in the break I communicated with him again, and he communicated again that he's feeling good, he have a good time, he do not feel much pain at the moment, and he had a few good weeks actually. That is what he communicated. That is the information for the family members. So Michael is communicating to you now by using more and more wind, by pushing the wind tool, that he's feeling good and that he had a few good weeks. Not only a moment where he was feeling good, now the past few weeks were good for him. So that's important information, because a lot of people cannot communicate with their loved ones, which are in the situation that they do not have a human body anymore. And then it's very difficult to solve questions like how do the other feel, you know. So that's why it was important to transfer that information. For me as well, for me, Niall, to help you, Michael. And Michael is happy for that. He's agreeing to that. He's presenting the star. He wants to present the star. Yes. See, he's uplifting the wind tool. In the same time, he did move it a little bit into this direction. Just a little bit like this. Okay? Can you repeat that, Michael? No, he's going to use more wind. More wind, stronger wind. Okay. That's why he did. And now, you want to do that? Yes. There's the golden star. See? So sorry, I'm still smoking the joint, and I still need to drink some cola in between because it's getting very warm over here. Very hot. It's a good day. It wasn't too hot. 2 days ago it was too hot in Germany, and today is a good day. Michael would love to communicate that he loves his family members, and you can see that he's doing a lot of wind for that now. And we're gonna ask him that again in a second. So you just made a lot of wind for that point. And Michael, you want to communicate that you love your family members, right? They know that. They should not forget it. That's what he communicated to me by thoughts in a nice way. So I'm sure they remember you. I'm sure they do, and I'm sure they think about you during their days. They do sometimes. Often. Okay. Often. That's good. That's good. So I'm happy that I could produce this video with you. I'm happy that we did the part 1 of the video, which was quite long and which was quite good. It was a little bit difficult in the beginning because when we started the communication, Michael had to optimize himself to canalize the wind, to use the wind, to canalize it specific into this area. Oh, and Michael Jackson communicated to me right now by thoughts during I spoke the other stuff out that he would like to say hello to the fans as well, so to his fans. You see, the wind level is very high for that, and I'm gonna wait that when there's less wind, I'm gonna ask him that again. But if you watch out closely, he's uplifting and he's touching my hand, the wind tool. Touching my hand, see? To agree to that. He's presenting the golden star to the camera over here to say yes, and he's uplifting it again, so that you have the second thing. It's a huge alarm in the background. Yes. Okay, so Michael, create please a situation where the wind tool is hanging for a second, so where it's hanging loose, that there's not so much wind. He's doing it right now. Check that out. He's doing it directly. And if you want to say again hi to your fans so that they have a second proof, then please canalize more wind now, and please try to touch my hand or go into the direction of my hand with the wind tool. And he's touching it, see? So that's for the fans, a hi from Michael Jackson, the creator, who have lived as a musician. So Michael Jackson wants to communicate that he supports videos where people receiving knowledge regarding the fact that ghosts can communicate and how they can communicate with humans. And he's agreeing to that by uplifting the wind tool. So, as I said in part 1, if you learn after a while to watch the wind tool closely and to listen closely to what I speak out when I speak it out, and how the wind tool is reacting to the fact that I speak stuff out. Okay? Touching my hand again, and he did. See? So, some of you maybe do not know that, but in Africa there are some tribes where the tribes put on fires to communicate with ghosts, with spirits actually. And then there's people of these tribes which have learned to outread the dance of the flames when a ghost or a spirit do communicate with them. Which means they put on a fire and they train themselves to outread the wind when it's getting used by such creatures which have lived as humans before, for example, to communicate. And they have learned to outread the dance of the flames. So like Michael did touch my hand with this wind tool, of course it's possible to put on a fire and to agree that when Michael Jackson wants to say yes to something, that he lets the flame dance in one direction, and if he wants to say no to something, that he lets the flames dance into the other direction. And at the moment, to me, Michael Jackson is also communicating that it's also possible, if you have on a fire, to communicate with the spirit or the ghost, for example, to let the flames grow, that they become bigger, or to communicate with the creature to reduce the fire so that the flames are not so high anymore and that they are not so strong dancing in the wind. So there, if you think about the situation sitting in front of a huge fire, there are a lot of things you can agree with these creatures to communicate with them. So to have a complex communication, not only a yes or no, also I'm feeling good, I'm feeling bad, or I would agree, but I don't agree, stuff like that, specifics like that can be communicated between each other. And then the ghost can influence the fire depending on what he likes to communicate or how he likes to reply and to answer. And Michael Jackson wants to agree to that. And he's gonna uplift the wind tool now. Again, watch the wind tool, please. Michael? Yes, perfect. Saw that? It was hanging in the metal structure before, and then he uplifted it when I requested it, and he did it perfect. So, so you learned something about African tribes and their fires sometimes now. And of course, if you have a plant, like a small plant, for example, in your room, and your plant is standing on the carport or a sideboard at your window, you can open the windows and you can try to communicate with ghosts or creatures if you have contact with them. And some people hear voices in that. So a lot of people actually have the effect that they hear voices in their head. These voices can be ghost spirits, and it can be the case that the same voices which are communicating with you are capable of doing something like we just presented here, like Michael Jackson did present, by using the wind, by canalizing the wind, stuff like that. So if you have contact with them anyway, because you have their voices in your head, you can try to communicate with the same creatures to communicate with you, for example, by using wind. And then if you are trained with the creature, with the ghost, and the ghost is trained to use the wind, then it's possible, for example, to go on a walk for 15-20 minutes. And during your walk, there you walk beside trees and plants which are outside, right? If you go for a walk in the forest or somewhere. So you can be in a situation that the creature then communicates with you the whole time by using wind and by influencing the area you walk in, even if it's a huge area, even if you go for a 20-minute walk. So that's very impressive for a living human like me, Niall. And Michael Jackson is agreeing to that. Do you want to agree to that stronger? That it's very impressive if you see it from a human perspective. If creatures ghosts do trigger and canalize the wind in an area, for example, in a walking situation like I just described. Yes, he can agree. You want to agree? Yes. Okay, then start doing that. How you want to do it? By showing the star. And he's turning the wind tool. He's showing the star into the camera over here. The gold star on the wind tool. Okay. Michael wants to communicate to the fans of Michael Jackson, actually, that he misses situations where he could be with them and where he was doing concerts and tours like stuff, and where he could feel the energy, the positive energy of the people. And he wants to agree to that, what I just spoke out? Yes, yes. So please canalize more wind now, so that the people can see it and understand it. And for the people, watch out for the wind tool again. He will start to canalize more and more wind now to the wind tool, and he's doing that. So he's pushing the wind tool with that into the metal structure. I'm sure that the people which were fans of Michael Jackson, like people which have been to his concerts, I'm sure that they also enjoyed it, because you made real huge concerts, man. So I'm sure that the people enjoyed that, and I'm sure they have also good memories regarding moments like that. Me, Niall, as a human, I wasn't so often on concerts, to be honest. I didn't go there often. So I need to drink some cola. Sorry for that. I don't know how the sound is. I hope the sound is okay, because my microphone is messed up. It's not working very well anymore. So I'm just using my cell phone microphone, and I hope that's enough. Normally I had a microphone, but my equipment broke. If I would have more equipment and better equipment, it would be much easier and better to produce good documentations. I have a real equipment problem at the moment, and I can't afford new equipment. That's my problem. If you want to support me now, just to get new equipment, you can contact me on Facebook, actually. That would help creators which have lived as human beings before and which like to produce data for their families, to send a live signal, a live message. So I produced much less documentations in the past 2 years than before. Like years ago, I did produce a lot of documentations for the website ciembassy.com, and you can find a lot of videos on ciembassy.com, but the most videos are in German. But there are a few videos in English where I communicated with creators which have lived as humans once and which died, and which are trying to reach out with their videos to their family members, so that potentially a family member sees the video and understands the communication and understand that there's contact there, and that the family members have a chance to understand that they can contact me, and that I can help to communicate with the ghost, which is their family member. Get that? And if I help people like that, I don't charge them for that. So there's no fee, no cost, nothing. It's for free. So that's just as an information. Also possible, but I said that in the other video, it's also possible to come to live situations, to make an appointment with me, and then we meet up. And if I have contact with the creature, with the ghost, your family member who died, then they're able to present themselves, and I can explain that in a way that you can understand it, follow, and learn to outread the information by yourself when it's transferred to environment control, like our communicator. And Michael Jackson is agreeing to that by showing the star to the camera. See that? And before he produced more wind, and he's doing that now again to agree to that. Okay, that you understand that. So if you watch the other videos, it's the same thing as the communication today here with Michael Jackson. It's just in most videos I use plants, so trees, for example, for the communication. So if you watch the wind tool now in this video, it can be a tree or a plant in another English video. So your eyes have to get used to that as well, to watch them a plant and how the plants do react in the wind when the wind level is triggered and canalized. Yeah, maybe in the one camera, maybe in the background, you can see the plants here behind me. And Michael gonna canalize some more wind to this plant I'm pointing at with my hand, to the crown. Just watch the crown of the plant, the head, the top. Michael, you want to start to do that now? Yes, he's gonna do that. So I'm gonna watch out, and you can watch out on the camera, on that camera. If you watch the crown closely, I just described what I see, okay? I see the wind tool is getting more and more wind and pointing into my direction. So my direction is also the direction of the tree I'm pointing at. And when you watch the crown closely, now it's quiet. And now Michael gonna start to canalize a little bit more wind into the crown. Can you do that? Yes. And see, now the crown is pushed a little bit. But you need very good eyes to watch that. Like, you have to watch very closely. With the wind tool, it's easy because it's so close to the one camera. If you do the same thing with plants, the same communication method with plants, it's much more difficult to watch. Michael, can you agree to that by pushing up the wind tool one more time, by canalizing more wind into the area? And he's saying yes, so he will do that. He will uplift the wind tool now, and you could see it's uplifted if you watch closely. And now he's canalizing more and more wind to make that clear. So with that, you can communicate with creatures which have lived as human beings before, which then died, their spirits, their ghosts. You can communicate with creatures which have lived as animals or as plants before, if their consciousness level after they died is upgraded in a way that they can understand that, remember their life as animals, for example, to identify themselves, and then they can use that for the communication. As I said, these are old methods of communicating with spirits and ghosts. It's nothing new, but you maybe never have heard of it before. So this is old knowledge our ancestors had in the very past, like a long time ago. And as I said, some tribes in Africa still do practice that also. There was a visitor. I saw a guy standing over there just minutes ago. Sometimes Niall, I sometimes get confused when people show up when we do communication like that. And also, fact is that sometimes creatures I communicate with are getting like irritated by it for a moment. And Michael is agreeing to that. And that's important for you to understand if you communicate with ghost spirits. Normally it's not a problem, so they keep going communicate, even if other people show up. But it can be a second where me and I get irritated, or the creature I'm communicating with is getting irritated. So just that you know that if you ever communicate in that way with your loved ones, your ancestors, or some spirits, ghosts, which maybe did haunt you or something. I want to speak a little bit, Niall, I want to speak a little bit about haunted situations. So when people get haunted by ghosts, spirits, or when their body gets possessed, because these are real things. They're really going on planet Earth. And human bodies can be also overtaken, so that the creature who was born as the human sees himself as the human, feels as the human, and have the memory of a human life, gets killed in the human body. Then the body gets overtaken by a creature with the capability, and the creature then can use the body for whatever the creature wants to do with it. And after a while, they can reactivate the creature who has lived as a human before. And then you can be in different situations. Can be a situation that you don't realize that your body was overtaken. So because you just did not exist with your consciousness level for that moment where you were dead. And after you get reactivated, you realize maybe that your body is in a different position than it was before, or at a different place, because maybe the other creature walked your body there in the time where you were dead. So that can lead to critical and harmful situations. So if people get haunted, a lot of stuff can happen, because these creatures can be capable of everything a human can imagine. And even the imagination of a human can get built by these creatures if they influence the human body, and if they connect it in symbiosis to a biological human body. And Michael Jackson is agreeing to that with wind, and he will also present the star to the camera. He will start to do that. He's agreeing to that with more wind, and he shakes the wind tool. So maybe you can present the star again to the camera. Watch out for the wind tool, and he's shaking the wind tool. With that, he's bringing the star a little bit in the direction of the camera. So he's agreeing to that by triggering, canalizing more wind now. So For people which get haunted, they often, if they have voices in their head or if their body is possessed, they don't really have a chance to get rid of this creature which possesses the body in cases where the creature is attacking the human. If you are in a situation where you have peaceful communication with Michael, for example, and he's in my body as well and creating the thoughts, he's connected with my body at this moment in time. Michael Jackson, that's correct, right? And which method? Star. Okay. So Michael Jackson gonna show the star to the camera, and after that he gonna uplift the wind level. Make it more clear. More clear. He's turning the star more and more into the direction of the camera. But can you turn it more? Yes, he can. He was not prepared for that, but he's gonna try that. That was not working very well. But I see here something. Watch closely. This thing is totally messed up because you turned it so often. I'll help you with that for 1 second. So now you see the star, but that's because the thing was turned again. So that was not so good. That was not clear enough, actually. He's agreeing to that by canalizing more wind. But the wind tool was twisted. That's why I had to turn it around. The line was twisted. The wind tool is hanging on a little line. So okay, Michael, do you have any other stuff you want to communicate? He's communicating to me by thoughts now that he would love to communicate more. But he would love to do a private video later. Not today maybe, but later for his family. So where I send them the link, maybe to one of their websites also, with a little letter, with a little information. But the video can't be seen by the public. Only the people which have the link can see the video then. We're gonna finish the video? Yes. But Michael Jackson wants to say bye as well to everybody. So talk to you later, something like that? Yes. Okay. So let me ask you again then. You want to say bye to the fans and see you later, talk to you later if you want to see more videos, because we're maybe gonna do later another video. Not today, but yes, you want to say yes. So he presented the star to the camera, and now he's gonna canalize more wind to the wind tool, and he's gonna push that wind tool. And as you can see, it's hanging in the metal again because he's pushing it with the wind in this direction. Now he wants to try to let the wind tool fly. So you're gonna start to canalize more wind and more wind, and you can see it's still a little bit twisted with the metal thing, but he's pushing it with more wind. Okay, then say goodbye. He's gonna say goodbye with a lot of wind now. Michael, touch my piece if you want to say goodbye to the fans. That would be a great ending. He's gonna try to touch my piece thing here with my fingers by uplifting the wind tool. You want to try that? He's showing the star to the camera. He's gonna try that. So here's the piece thing. Yeah, golden star. We have seen that piece thing. Please uplift the wind tool to touch the piece thing. Are you trying? You're trying. Am I too far away? No. That was not good. He's agreeing to that. Peace thing. So as you see, the communication do not work always perfect. You were unable to reach my peace sign, right? He's showing the star to the camera, which means yes. And okay, then do you just want to say goodbye by canalizing more wind? Did I get your goodbye clearly? You'll see you later, sorry. You'll see you later, yeah. Yes. Okay, I'm saying goodbye too. Thanks for watching this video with me and Michael. And as I said, you can find much more videos like that on YouTube, YouTube and siaembassy.com. Thank you for watching. You're Michael Jackson with the wind tool by canalizing the wind to the wind tool. And thanks for watching from me, Niall Sebastian Power-Sieger. On Facebook, it's Niall Power-Sieger. Thanks for watching. Peace.